honourable members. It is almost 10 o'clock and I wish to welcome you all to our meeting of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning. It is the 12th of April 2021 and our main item on the agenda is the consideration of our final mandate to the NCOP regarding the Ultra Bill. As you know and can recall, honourable members, we met last week, Wednesday, but then unfortunately the NCOP was still dealing and considering the Ultra Bill, and we have since then received their minutes of their meeting, which was circulated to members together with the minutes of our meeting last Wednesday of the 7th of April. Honourable members, I would just like to give all of you that have signed on to this meeting an opportunity to please briefly introduce yourself. I'm Andrikus van der Westhuizen, the chairperson of the committee. And can I ask that we introduce ourselves in the order of Honourable Maseko, Honourable Maran, and then Honourable Bartman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Matlodi Maseko and I'm a member for the Standing Committee.
Morning, Chairperson. Morning, everyone. My name is Pat Maran. I'm a member of this committee.
Morning, Deirdre Bartman, member of the committee.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, honourable members. I know this is in your constituency time and I therefore really appreciate you making time for this extraordinary meeting. As you know, the Parliament and the NCOP therefore is under very tight timeframes now, as the court gave Parliament until the end of this month to amend and bring the bill in line with the Constitution. Honourable members, as I've said, you've now received the feedback from the NCOP. The provinces that did submit some proposed amendments to the Ultra Bill were KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. All these proposed amendments were eventually rejected in the NCOP. So we are back to the original bill as was considered by this committee some time ago. So Ms. Niekerk, would you like to just add anything, give us some feedback that you may have received from the NCOP apart from that?
Nothing else, Chair. I think everything was contained in the minutes. In summary, though, the total count at the end of that meeting reflected that 6 provinces supported the bill and 1 province did not support the bill, and that 2 provinces did not submit negotiating mandates. And that's it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. And as I've said, honourable members, we are here now to consider our position and also to adopt a report on the upgrading of the Land Tenure Rights Amendment Bill B6B of 2020. And I first would like to put it to members whether we as the Standing Committee recommend that the House must support or not support the amendment bill. Can I please have some feedback from the honourable members? Honourable Bartman, I recognise your hand.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, given that the same bill has come back without any amendments, my proposal is that we keep our current mandate to not support the bill, but that we also ask, in terms of our report, that we note how with the speed or the haste which Parliament was set to comply with a date by the court, which then also placed the NCOP and the provinces under severe pressure to deal with this amendment bill, and that in the first 18 months and then again after an additional 12 months, which the court gave Parliament to amend and finalize the amendment bill, that this was not managed effectively and efficiently by Parliament. And Chair, I also would like it to be noted that these inexplicable delays by the NCOP then for provinces to consider the negotiating mandates then place pressure on legislatures such as the Western Cape to adopt its final mandate timeously in order to comply with this deadline. And I would also like it to be noted in the report that the amendment bill falls foul of section 154 subsection 2 of the Constitution, where you need to sufficiently advertise for public comment before introduction to Parliament, the National Parliament, and that the memorandum of objectives in this bill clearly states, quote, the department has not consulted widely on this bill, quote close, and this poses a serious risk should the amendment bill be taken on review, given the current process followed so far, at least in the respect of public involvement, and that this could be found to be constitutionally invalid. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Bartman. You've addressed quite a number of issues there. Honourable members, we've got a proposal in front of us. And can I have the views of other committee members that may want to express a view on this? Honourable Maran.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, before I express a view, I just wanted to check with the procedural officer. As he said, 6 provinces in support, and I think 2 not in support, and then there's another one. If you just, Chair, can give us, so that we have more of a sense, those 6 provinces, who are they? Those 2 we did not support, who are they? And I think there's one that did not submit anything, 1 province. We just get a clear understanding who are those 6 provinces who are in support, who are the 2, and who are the 1. Chair, before I express a view. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Honourable Maran. Before I give over to Ms. Niekerk, I think just the 2 and the 1 must just be turned around, switched. But let's listen to our procedural officer, Ms. Niekerk, for some guidance.
Thank you, Chairperson. All right, the 6 provinces that supported the bill was the Eastern Cape, the Free State, Mpumalanga, Northern Cape, Gauteng, and KZN. Those are the 6 provinces. The 1 province that did not support the bill in the negotiating stage was the Western Cape, and then 2 provinces which did not submit negotiating mandates are Limpopo and Northwest. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Niekerk. Honourable Maran, now that you've had that explanation, would you like to again express yourself?
Maybe, Chair, you there was a proposal made by the Honourable Bartman. Maybe we should first get someone to second. I'm not sure, procedurally.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Maran. Will you please then lower your hand, and I recognize the hand of Honourable Maseku.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, I am totally in support of Member Bartman, as she stated our standing point with this bill. But another thing that I want to find out is the other provinces that our procedural officer said they supported this bill. When did they get their negotiating mandate from the NCOP? Did they meet on a Friday, or when did it happen? Is it they are in support of the bill beforehand, before the court now instructed the parliament to do the right thing, or it's now after they receive the negotiating mandate from the NCOP? Just for interest's sake, you can indulge me.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Maseku. Thank you for that support. But then also, Ms. Niekerk, would you be able to just give some feedback on the position from the other provinces?
Thank you, Chairperson. The closing date for provinces to submit negotiating mandates was before the 24th of March. Ms. Maseko, through you, Chair, many of the provinces, and I don't know which of those provinces submitted negotiations after that date. The Secretariat of the NCOP will have that information. However, because provinces submitted negotiating mandates late, the date for the meeting of the Select Committee was moved to the 7th of April. But like I say, Chairperson, I'm not quite sure which provinces submitted after the initial date of 24 March. Thank you.
Thank you. And it seems to me we are all now in the same boat in the sense that all provinces now have to formulate a final report or a final mandate to our representatives there. But that one could fairly, I think, logically assume that since there were no amendments, that the position would still remain. Honourable Maseko, you're breaking up. Honourable Maseko, over to you, but please move to a position where your sound is perhaps better. Sorry, Honourable Maseko. Okay, now you're muted. Thank you. I trust in that your question was then answered. Honourable Maran, I recognize your hand again.
Thanks, Chair. Look, Chair, the last meeting that we had and the input from the I think it was Mr. Masdorf, and basically said that the amendments that we are dealing with is in line with the court ruling, and we are basically dealing with that. And we were saying that there's absolutely nothing wrong, basically, what was put in front of us. The issues raised, for instance, by the Honorable Morin, and at that stage, the legal advisor have basically expressed a view saying that it's irrelevant because the issues that he raised was not in front of us. And basically the only issue, and I remember at that stage, he said it was difficult for him to advise on that specific issue, which is basically the public participation process. And that's also the argument of the previous speakers. And I think that's the only argument that they have, that there was not enough time, Chair, but it's a view. There can be another view also, Chair. And Chair, based on that advice or opinion from the legal advisor that there's absolutely nothing wrong, Chair, the issue is basically in front of us as per the ruling of the court, Chair, and therefore I would want to propose that that this committee supports basically the amendments made to the Alta bill. And if my chair view is the minority, I would want it to be captured as per section 19 of the rule 19 of the standing rules. Thanks.
Good. Thank you, Honourable Maran. Honourable Maran, I've heard the support from Honourable Bartman as well as that of Honourable Maseko. It also carries my personal support. I do not see any other members currently on this meeting platform, and it therefore seems to me indeed as if you are holding a minority view, and in line with your request, that minority view can be recorded in our final report. Thank you very much. Can I just ask Ms. Niekerk, would you be able to put on our screens the proposal from Honourable Bartman in the form of our draft report?
Certainly, Chairperson, I'll share the screen now.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Niekerk. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to read so that we also have on our recording the wording of this report. Is the final mandate states, report of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning on the upgrading of Land Tenure Rights Amendment Bill B6B 2020 NCOP, dated the 12th of April 2021 as follows. The Standing Committee on Agriculture, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning, having considered the subject of the upgrading of Land Tenure Rights Amendment Bill B6B 2020 NCOP, refer to it in accordance with Standing Rule 217, recommends that the House confers on the Western Cape's delegation in the NCOP the authority not to support the amendment bill. The committee asks the House to note the haste by Parliament to comply with the date set by the court, which in turn has placed the NCOP and provinces under severe pressure to deal with this amendment bill. In this regard, it should be noted that the first 18 months and thereafter an additional 12 months as determined by the court to amend and finalise the amendment bill were not managed effectively and efficiently by Parliament. 2. The inexplicable delays by the NCOP in considering provinces' negotiating mandates, which in turn has placed pressure on the Western Cape to adopt its final mandate timeously in order to comply with the NCOP deadline. And 3, that the amendment bill may fall foul of section 154(2) of the Constitution, as it was not sufficiently advertised for public comment before being introduced to the Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. Parliament. The memorandum on the objects of the bill states clearly the department has not consulted widely on the bill. There is therefore a serious risk, should the amendment bill be taken on review, that the process followed thus far, at least in respect of public involvement, may be found to be constitutionally unsound. In accordance with Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress expressed its minority view that it does not support, I presume, the amendment. Oh, that it supports. Sorry, Ms. Niekerk, you've got it correctly. I'm going to repeat that sentence. In accordance with Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress expressed its minority view that it supports the amendment bill. Report to be considered. Honourable members, thank you. In line with the proposal as seconded by Honourable Bartman, the proposal by Honourable Bartman and then seconded by Honourable Maseku, I put this report in front of you for consideration. Are you all in support that we would be able to adopt this report? Honourable Bartman.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I move that we adopt the report.
Honourable Maseku.
Chair, I second that we adopt.
Thank you very much. Honourable Maran, would you like to express a view? Your views have been recorded correctly?
No, Chair. No, Chair, the report, I'm fine with it. It's captured correctly.
Good.
So I have no problem as to support also the report.
Thank you. Thank you very much, honourable members. The report is then duly adopted. Can we move on to the next item on the agenda, Ms. Niekerk?
Certainly, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honourable members, you will recall that we had a very brief meeting last week on the 7th, where eventually we were only able to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting because the NCOP was still, as I explained, busy deliberating on the bill. There you have on your screens the proposed minutes for last week's meeting, and I would appreciate it if you could consider it. It was also circulated to members during the course of last week. Honourable members, can I have a proposal that we adopt that as a correct version of our proceedings? Honourable Bartman.
Chair, I move to adopt.
Honourable Maseku.
Chair, I second.
Thank you very much. The minutes are then also duly adopted. Thank you very much for that. And then, honourable members, just one item under general. As you know, we've got quite a number of pieces of legislation coming our way. Some are still at the National Assembly, and some are already on our plate. One being the amendments to the LUPA, the Land Use Planning Act, for the Western Cape. You will recall that we were already briefed by the department on the reasons why they've come with this amendment to us as a committee. We will probably be able to deliberate this at our next meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, the 4th of May. That is in about 2 weeks from now. But with all the pieces of legislation coming our way, it seems as if we will really struggle to find days for oversight visits. And I have discussed this with our procedural officer, and I'm putting it to the committee for your consideration and hopefully support, for us to perhaps undertake the intended visit to the Brandvlei Dam and the canal. You know, this has been on our agenda for quite a while. If you would be so kind for us to attend or to have an oversight visit on the 3rd of May. It's on Monday. It's the last day of this current constituency period. And the reasons why we're going for that date is also to tie in with some of the officials' leave arrangements, etc. Can I just ask regarding your availability, honourable members? It's still early days. No arrangements have been put in place. Obviously, we first want to see to what extent would members be able to participate in this oversight visit. Can I have your feedback, please? Honourable Bartman?
Thank you, Chair. Unfortunately, on the 3rd of May, I already have three big engagements that I have to attend. And unfortunately, I will not be able to attend. If the committee decides to still go on the 3rd of May, then I'll attempt to find an alternate regarding this. Thank you, though.
Thank you, Honourable Bartman, and thank you for being able to accommodate. Let's just hear from the other members. Obviously, we'll try and accommodate as many members as possible. Honourable Maseko.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, on the 3rd of May, I am not going to be able to attend because I've got the engagement as I'm starting in the new constituency. So they are already the arrangement that have been planned.
Good. Thank you, honourable members. It then seems to me as if it will be very difficult for us then to arrange this for the 3rd of May, and we will have to look at alternate days for that then as well. But we'll keep on trying, as I think this is quite an important project, and we've heard such a lot about it that I just thought that we would really need to go and see for ourselves. But we'll keep on trying, looking for a date that would hopefully suit all our members. Any responses or any last remarks, honourable members, before I adjourn this meeting until the 4th of our next meeting scheduled for the 4th of May? No comment?
No comment, Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Niekerk, anything from your side?
Yes, Chairperson, just important for the meeting to note that Member Maria has just sent through an apology for this meeting. So I will minute that accordingly. And then also when the committee decides on a date for this oversight visit, just in order to ensure sound administrative processes, I would suggest that the committee then takes a resolution regarding the private vehicle transport costs. Yes, that those costs will then be covered or will come from this committee's budget for that trip. That's very important, Chair. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Niekerk. Yeah, I thought since we're not yet going, that decision can stand over, but I think it just makes sense. I think Honourable Maran would also appreciate it if he could use his private transport, just taking into consideration our various home bases, etc. It just doesn't make sense for Honourable Maran or myself to first travel to Cape Town to then travel back to the Worcester area. So certainly, honourable members, if we could already confirm that we as a committee would prefer to leave the option to members who wish to do so to travel with private transport, and that those costs be offset against this committee's budget. Is that in order with you, honourable members? Honourable Maran, I saw your microphone going on.
It was off, Chair. But I have no problem.
Okay.
I fully agree with you, Chair. It doesn't make sense for us to drive to Cape Town first to get a vehicle there and then drive back to Worcester. I mean, my home from Cape Town is 150 kilos. So, Chair, now I fully, I'm fully in support of
Good. Thank you, Honourable Moran. I don't know if it's your sound or my sound, but I think we got the gist of your proposed proposal. Thank you very much for that. Honourable members, with that as our final decision for the day, I want to thank our support staff. Thank you for Advocate Marstorp, who also joined us this morning, and for your advice earlier on. Then also Mr. Njamela, Ms. Shumpela, and Ms. Niekerk. Mr. Eso, thank you very much. Honourable members, I wish you a great week ahead. And honourable members, I think our deepest appreciation for Ms. Niekerk, who is officially on leave, but who will not only arrange this meeting, but who will also be now sending through this mandate first to the Speaker for his signature, and then for submission, hopefully before the due date of tomorrow at the NCOP. With that, honourable members, I say thank you very much again, and this meeting is now adjourned.